WWE Hall of Famer Bully Ray reacts to AEW Dynamite's record low viewership and ratings this past week, saying that people shouldn't be cheering on the demise and failure of a pro wrestling company. We'll let you know all the details on that. Plus, Jacob Fatu, of course, he made his WWE debut last night on Smackdown. But why did WWE wait so long to debut the latest member of the Bloodline, considering he's been signed since WrestleMania? We'll let you know all the details on that too. Kayla Braxton has announced she's leaving WWE, and her last week is going to be this coming week. WWE reportedly is in talks with AAA as they look to expand across the globe into different territories, and MJF discusses re-signing with AEW and choosing to sign with the company over WWE. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off with more reaction when it comes to the record low viewership and ratings for this past week's edition of AEW Dynamite on TBS, coming from WWE Hall of Famer Bully Ray, who has been an outspoken critic of Tony Khan, All Elite Wrestling, and their weekly programming. Now, WWE Hall of Famer Bully Ray appeared to reference the record low ratings and viewership for this week's edition of AEW Dynamite in a post on his X account yesterday. Now, he wrote the following on social media. We can get it up on the screen right there. He said, quote, "Actual wrestling fans do not celebrate the lows and hardships of any wrestling company that it goes through." And he also tagged Busted Open Radio, of course, the radio station that he works on Sirius XM. Now, he received a response from a fan on social media saying, quote, "Tony brought it on himself. Enough with the actual fans BS." Now, Bully Ray responded to this by saying, "Dude, shut the F up. You are no better than the toxic AEW fan base, a nameless, faceless coward who hides behind a keyboard because you are embarrassed by your own existence. You're the toxic WWE fan base. Read the effing tweet again. Trash." Now, what do you make of what Bully Ray is talking about right there? Is he right by saying that actual wrestling fans won't be celebrating the lows and hardships any wrestling company goes through? And what are your thoughts on his view on the tribalism that we see on social media between fans of WWE and AEW? Are there toxic AEW fans? Are there toxic WWE fans? Are they just as bad as each other? Or is Bully Ray saying things once again on social media to get people talking? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comments section below. Now, Jacob Fatu, the world is still reacting and buzzing after the latest member of the Bloodline was revealed last night on Smackdown. Jacob Fatu has debuted on the Smackdown roster as a member of the Bloodline. Now, Fatu has been signed to WWE for months, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, and was backstage at WrestleMania and was around WrestleMania weekend in Philadelphia. Now, Fightful say they had never been given firm debut plans, though they were given an implied reason as to why it's taken so long to see Fatu on WWE programming, considering he's been signed for so long. Now, on recent Fightful podcasts, it had been noted that Jacob Fatu had never wrestled outside of the United States. MLW sources, where Fatu was previously signed, had previously indicated that was because of Fatu's criminal record when he was younger, in a life that he's left far behind. However, it was noted that prevented him from accepting bookings outside of the United States. Now, Fightful say they're not sure if that will be the case moving forward, but Fightful were told that with the huge number of international PLE events and television tapings WWE had in the spring and summer, that was likely a hurdle. Of course, we've seen shows in Saudi Arabia, we've seen them in the United Kingdom, we've seen them in France. Of course, coming up, there's Bash in Berlin. It'll be interesting to see if Fatu is booked for that show. Now, in the past, his history and his criminal record was a primary reason he'd not been hired by the company. However, Fightful have been told that WWE's newer regime has long been interested in Fatu. Now, Fightful Sean Ross Sapp was told that Fatu made immediate good impressions within WWE and had a very respectful approach to everyone backstage. Fatu's father and Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa's fathers teamed up for years in the 1980s. So, what are your thoughts on Jacob Fatu's debut last night, and what do you think it means when it comes to his future internationally? Let me know your thoughts about that too. Now, as far as his name moving forward, well, this is a big indication here because WWE has filed to trademark Jacob Fatu. On June 21, that being yesterday, WWE filed to trademark the term Jacob Fatu. As I mentioned, Fatu made his WWE debut on the June 21st episode of Smackdown, joining the new version of the Bloodline led by the new head of the table, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, taking out Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. So it looks like Fatu is going to keep this name in WWE, but does that make you a little bit worried about the use of it moving forward? Of course, he has used it prior to WWE, so he could be seemingly set to use it once he leaves WWE at some point in the future. Maybe he never plans on leaving the company. Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Now, a big story today, a departure from WWE, and a bit of a surprising one. Kayla Braxton is officially departing WWE after almost 8 years with the company. Earlier today, Braxton confirmed her coming exit following rumblings after she had changed her social media username to her real name, Kayla Becker. Quote, after nearly 8 years holding the microphone on WWE television, I'm sitting it down to pursue my next chapter. Next week at the world's most famous arena, I will be officially signing off, she wrote on Instagram. During my years with WWE, I was able to master the art of the backstage interview. I hope I was able to turn minutes into moments for you who watch week to week and maybe even ushered in a new fan base. My banter with Paul Heyman became the stuff of legend, and I'm so thankful for all he has done to elevate my career. I gained a wealth of knowledge from the wise man, and for that, I'll be eternally grateful. Now, we've got some more details actually on this coming from Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select. As I mentioned, this news had surprised many fans. She took WWE out of her social media username, which spawned many questions of the backstage interviewer status within the company. When Fightful reached out to WWE and Braxton, real name Kayla Becker, they were told that she was still with the company. However, they've now learned more. Braxton announced on June 22nd that she's stepping away from WWE next week. Fightful Select's Sean Ross Sapp has learned that Braxton is currently working for the company under a verbal agreement between the two sides following her WWE deal expiring recently. The two sides have been in discussions, but Fightful have not been told what came of them. Now, Fightful have also been told that AEW had been made aware of her contract status a couple of weeks ago, but they aren't sure if that was due to direct communication between Becker / an agent or AEW. Now, Braxton signed with WWE in 2016 and has worked across all brands involved in WWE and has been a common backstage interviewer and kickoff show panelist and host over the years. Braxton also previously served as a ring announcer in WWE NXT before making her way to the main roster permanently in 2019. So what do you think happens next when it comes to the future of Kayla Braxton in professional wrestling? Do you think she just moves off into entertainment as other previous backstage interviewers have? Do you think she could go to AEW? What do you think happens, and what do you think her legacy is in WWE? Now, this is an interesting story too when it comes to more potential working relationships between WWE and outside international companies. The Triple H era of WWE has shown a willingness to work with other promotions that could include another well-known brand. In the new era of World Wrestling Entertainment under the TKO Group Holdings banner, Triple H leads the way of Chief Content Officer along with Nick Khan as the WWE President. As the leaders of the company, they have started a working relationship with TNA Wrestling, which has led to stars like Jordan Grace and Joe Hendry appearing on NXT, and Tatum Paxley of NXT resting in TNA. Meanwhile, former World Wrestling Entertainment champion AJ Styles is heading back to Japan for a huge match. Styles will be heading to Pro Wrestling Noah to challenge Japanese wrestling legend Naomichi Marufuji. The match is set to take place on July 13th at Noah's destination and will be the first bout ever between the two incredible performers. Julia is currently out of action with a broken wrist, but the newly signed WWE talent is expected to be a part of the NXT brand soon, while also appearing at some Marigold shows as well in Japan. Now, a new report from Lucha Libre Online earlier this week noted that World Wrestling Entertainment is interested in working with promotions in Mexico and Puerto Rico. They said, quote, exclusive, WWE has established alliances in Japan, the United Kingdom, and the United States with top professional wrestling companies. Lucha Libre Online can confirm that WWE is looking to establish alliances or agreements with companies in both Puerto Rico and Mexico. The company has knocked on the door in both countries very recently with the intention of creating a partnership similar to what they did with companies like TNA, Pro Wrestling Noah, and Marigold. If it comes to fruition, it would be huge for the company from Puerto Rico and Mexico that WWE selects. In the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer wrote about what Lucha Libre Online reported, while noting that WWE has reached out to Mexican promotions AAA's Dorian Roldan. He said, quote, Lucha Libre Online, which is Hugo Savinovic's website, meaning it's going to be very accurate when it comes to Puerto Rico and pretty inside when it comes to AAA, reported that WWE is looking for promotions in both Mexico and Puerto Rico to work with, similar to their new relationships with Marigold, TNA, and Pro Wrestling Noah. There's really nothing of any real significance in Puerto Rico, I'm sure WWE would like to work with CMLL since AEW is, but I think doing so would require both New Japan and CMLL to turn their back on AEW, and I don't see that happening. AAA did use AEW talent just this past weekend at Triple Mania, but obviously they'd do something with WWE in a heartbeat given the deal with Dragon Lee and Dralistico beating FTR clean for the tag titles, and then Lee, who scored the pin, then announcing in the ring he was vacating the title and going to WWE. In theory, WWE owed them a big favor because WWE even got ESPN to cover Lee signing immediately and the nature of what happened, so they had all that set up well in advance. But evidently there was no favour, and Conan went back and tried to make amends with AEW. We've been told that Dorian Roldan has been talking with NXT, but that's all we've been able to confirm. While it appears that the discussions may be in the early stages, the fact that it is being reported could mean something is brewing between WWE and AAA soon. What do you think that means for WWE and AAA, and what do you think it means when it comes to AAA's previous relationship with AEW? Let me know your thoughts about that one as well. And finally, speaking of AEW, former AEW World Champion MJF has discussed the decision to re-sign with AEW and end the bidding war of 2024, even though it never really began. MJF made his return to AEW back at the Double or Nothing pay-per-view event, where he revealed a new AEW tattoo on his leg and boldly declared that he wasn't effing leaving. Now, MJF reportedly quietly signed an extension with All Elite Wrestling back in 2022 amid interest from WWE, and he has now discussed his decision to remain with Tony Khan's promotion. Speaking to Fox 5 New York, MJF said the decision was very easy and that he believes in the company. He said, quote, "Look, it was a very easy decision for me, mainly because Tony is paying me an exorbitant amount of money. But outside of that, I believe in AEW. I believe it's where the best wrestle. I believe that we have some of the most top-tier elite talent you get to see in the world today." Now, of course, MJF is set to face off against CMLL's Hechi Siro at Forbidden Door in his hometown of Long Island in New York next weekend. But there you go, guys. So this is pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.